Well, well, well. Ask Steve-O how it all turned out.
Yo, Bam, it's Steve-O, and man, I feel like I owe you an apology, man.
Woo, girl.
I've heard you say at a public level that you feel that I pushed sobriety on you, and man, it's not supposed to work that way, and gosh dang darn it, you're right, I did, and I should know better than that, but in any case, it's cost us our relationship.
Oh, remember that? I know everybody's seen The Wizard of Oz. Remember The Wizard of Oz at the very beginning when the witch is like trying to steal Toto to go put him in a stew or whatever, and Annie M, Dorothy's aunt, is like, now being a Christian woman, I can't say what I really want to say to that witch. I'm feeling a little bit like that, not the Christian part, but I've spent a lot of time this month really like reflecting on ego and self and, just, girl, we can get into that later, but Steve-O picked a good time. Steve-O picked a real good time to basically admit that I was right, because I'm not in the mood to say what I probably would have said about 1 month ago or earlier. I do want to put in this video, I don't know, maybe we'll go through together and look at a few clips.
Had some issues where he fled from rehab. Well, he is back in rehab, and I urge everybody, please be supportive of Bam being in rehab, of taking sobriety serious.
I am supportive of Bam being in rehab. I am supportive of Bam taking sobriety seriously. I am supportive of Bam being in recovery, being in active recovery. But I am not supportive of him having to do that while having less constitutional rights than me or Steve-O. Bam should make these decisions on his own. Bam should make the decisions of what medications he is taking on his own. He should make a decision of whether he wants to be in rehab or not on his own. I am supportive of Bam getting treatment, of Bam getting better, of Bam living a happy, strong, healthy life and being a great father to his son. I am not supportive of someone else forcing their version of recovery, their version of treatment, and their version of what they want Bam Margera to be onto him. Okay. So that is what I want to be very clear about. If you take nothing else from this entire reaction video, you need to take that. I am in full support of Bam getting better, Bam recovering, Bam being sober. I think it would be the best thing for him. But it don't matter what I think, Steve-O. And it frankly shouldn't matter what you think. The only person that should matter here is Bam Margera himself and his little baby child. That the best interest of Bam and the baby child should be first, and it should all happen constitutionally with everyone's rights being respected, including due process and knowing how long you're going to be detained and all of that.
Anybody who's talking about free Bam, let him out, get him out of treatment, like
another hypothetical clown world that I didn't say. I didn't say free Bam, let him out of treatment. No. I said free Bam, let him make his own decision. Free Bam from this conservatorship. Free Bam from this Florida shuffle. Free Bam from other people making his medical decisions. Okay? So Steve-O's creating a hypothetical clown world that I did not say, accrediting us for things that we did not say. Anybody who says free Bam is then therefore saying let him out of treatment, is then therefore saying he should be loaded all the time. Like, it's irresponsible, libelous, and defamatory for Steve-O to even have made these statements and these allegations. Let's see what he said one more time.
Please be supportive
of
Bam being in rehab.
I am.
Of
Good
taking
job,
sobriety seriously. Because anybody who's talking about free Bam, let him out, get him out of treatment, like, you're trying to kill my brother,
And this is the most disrespectful and alarming allegation that I have heard. Because now if something happens to Bam, they're going to say it was the free Bam people who did it because we were encouraging him to get loaded. That's a lie. That's a lie. I've never encouraged Bam to get loaded. Never, not once. And the fact that Steve-O is saying that if something bad happens to Bam, insofar as him losing his life, is the Free Bam movement's fault. But what did Bam tell us in this interview? That Johnny Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine specifically made him want to jump off of the highest building on earth. Bam said that. He said he didn't even know what was going on with Free Bam on social media. So Steve-O's sitting here and saying that Free Bam, by advocating that the man decides what chemicals go in his own body and what treatment facility he goes to, is killing him. That is alarming, libelous, and defamatory, and not true. Nobody's trying to kill your brother. What we're trying to do actually is make sure that he lives a happy, strong, and healthy life with medical and bodily autonomy.
And don't do that. Let's all please be supportive.
I'm not doing that. The thing that Steve-O said we were doing is encouraging him to get loaded and run away from treatment and not get treatment. That is not what we are doing. So if that anybody out there is doing that, I guess y'all can stop. But I know Steve-O's not talking about me because this is not something that I've ever done.
You're trying to kill my fucking brother.
No, we're not.
And don't do that.
No, we're not.
Let's all please be supportive of Bam's sobriety.
I am very supportive of Bam's sobriety. So we're on the same page on that one, Steve.
Thank you for sticking around to the end. Lots of love.
But I do want to just remind everyone, including myself, how staunchly adamant Steve-O was that it was me that was hurting Bam by advocating that Bam should be allowed to make his own decisions on sobriety. It was Steve-O who said, and I quote from memory, maybe this is a paraphrase, again, I'm going to go try and look for the clip. "You're trying to kill my brother, man. You're trying to kill him." I was trying to kill him. Steve-O, accused me of attempted homicide publicly. Has he retracted that statement? Has he apologized to me for making that statement? No. No. Has he corrected the record that, in fact, I wasn't trying to kill his fucking brother? No, he has not done so. In fact, if I recall correctly, it was so long ago, I'm pretty sure Steve-O accused me also of somehow providing Bam with an illicit substance. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did that. Well, guess what? The tables have turned, and indeed, my prophetic, that's how you know all the messages are coming straight from the mothership, because how could I have possibly known the future? How could I, little old me, have possibly known the future? But if you listen to my smash hit, Gloriana, Squirrel is Acting Up by Gloriana, you will hear in the chorus of the song that I say, it's a warning. You should have kept my name out your mouth. Why? The underlying implication, why? Ask Steve-O how it all turned out.
And man, it's not supposed to work that way. And gosh dang darn it, you're right. I did. And I should know better than that.
When he tried to use my name for clout. Keep on going. Give him something you could talk about. Okay, so it was a prophecy. It was a prophecy, I believe, straight from the Lord, that anybody who wants to try to use my name to advance their harmful, in my opinion, message is going to regret it. I can't think of a single person who doesn't. I can't think of a single person who doesn't regret it, who doesn't sit around perhaps daily and think, I should have just left her alone. I should have kept her name out my mouth, off my platform, off my channel. Maybe I shouldn't have aligned with Lima. Maybe I shouldn't have aligned with the people who took Bam's phone and his freedoms. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I know Steve-O must be feeling that way, because do you want to know why? He has apologized. Not to me. He does owe me an apology. Am I going to hold my breath and wait for it? No. But Steve-O, the failed clown who went to circus school and couldn't get a job at the circus where he went to school and paid tuition. Steve-O, who accused me of attempted homicide against his brother. Steve-O with a covered up tattoo, which is now seemingly a beastie tattoo. He has issued an apology, and I would like to watch that together. Now, thank you again, X5 podcast / pop culture unpacked. The gift that keeps on giving. The gift that keeps on giving, really. Okay. Let's watch together just a little bit of this interview, okay? Interestingly, the interview before Bam, or maybe one or two, I don't feel like going to check right now, but it was like maybe the interview right before Bam, or like a couple before Bam. They featured Steve-O, the failed clown, the one who couldn't get a job at the circus that he went to circus school at. It's so funny because he came on my Instagram page one time and left this bitter comment at like 2 a.m., 3 in the morning or something. Mad, angry, manic, and awake.
In all seriousness, though, okay, and so I guess he thought he was talking to me, but it's weird because he says you should really give up on this whole free Bam thing. Really, you're not helping Bam, and I'm pretty sure you're not doing yourself any favors. Well, I don't do stuff for self favors. I thought you called yourself a lawyer, but then I heard you got fired from your job and or disbarred. So if anyone is assassinating anyone's character, it's Steve-O the failed clown in this comment, because I did not get disbarred and I did not get fired. I quit because I have something that you might not be familiar with called integrity. I know it's probably a foreign concept to you and the people who you run in your circles with, but sometimes just like when the vibes aren't right, like people quit. And that's what happened with me. I quit. I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm actually damn proud of it. And if I had the opportunity to do it again over and over into eternity, I would, and I will. So no one got disbarred. And for Steve-O, you're on notice, buddy. Say it again and we're going to have problems. It's not true. And it actually is assassinating my character because it's not true. And you have a way larger platform than me. Way more millions, plural, of people listen to you than me. And so you need to watch your damn step, buddy. As I understand it, you're no lawyer. Well, you have an incorrect understanding and now it's been addressed. And I know for a fact you're lurking my comment section. So I'm going to take this as you being on notice that I did not get disbarred and I never got fired from a law job. So take that, put it in your pipe and smoke it. Pun intended, bitch.
Talking about how I'm a failed lawyer, a disbarred, defamatory statement actually, harmful, untruthful, and defamatory statement. I was not disbarred, buddy. Learn the difference before you open your mouth and before you put your arthritic fingers on a comment in my section, okay? Don't just watch your freaking mouth. I wasn't disbarred, baby boy. He said all kind of things about me, which were false. Called me a failed lawyer who passed the bar, went to law school, graduated law school, one that he could not even get into, no offense, but he couldn't. I'll give him $1 if he can get in, even with his name, even with his daddy's money. He's the one that's the failure. And it's called projecting. That's the thing. Like, I'm trying to think, is there anything Steve-O could possibly say that would truly hurt me in a sense that would like shake the foundation of who I am? No, there's not one thing. Not one thing. But anyway, okay, so here's Bam on this podcast. Steve-O was on this podcast very, very recently before Bam goes on. And the host, again, these are my new cousins. I like these hosts. I'm not gonna say, you're not gonna catch me saying anything bad about these guys, okay? I like them. But one of them you can kind of tell is sort of stuck in the middle. He obviously likes Bam, how can you not? But then he also kind of like, I guess, likes Steve-O, which that's confusing to me, but his body, his choice. He can like who he wants. He kind of like abruptly just like sneaks Steve-O into the conversation. And like, I don't know, in my opinion, it seems like Bam's like a little bit like not really trying to talk about Steve-O. But let's watch a little bit of this together because the podcast host, one of them, he does bring forth to Bam an apology video from Steve-O the failed clown. He looks to be like cooking chicken or something in the background. I hope that stove is turned off. He might need a conservatorship. We might need to call Lima up. He's putting himself in danger if he's got the chicken sizzling. I mean, I'll let y'all be the judge. Okay, so they just got done talking about, Bam loves to talk about this Kyle that he met in rehab. Cool story, Kyle, tell it again. Something about Delco, Delaware. Do you know where so-and-so is and all that? So they're talking about that. Complete subject change. This guy goes, so, and he's going to start talking about Steve-O.
Steve-O, you know, he's a buddy of ours, and stuff, and he was excited because I told him, I was like, because he's a big cold plunger and all this stuff, and he got me into it. And Blue Cube, I'll give you guys a shout out. They built me a cold plunge. And
shout out to Wim Hof. Y'all better all be giving Wim Hof the credit he deserves because none of y'all were doing cold plunges until Wim Hof and then until me. I didn't see Steve-O doing a cold plunge until I was doing cold plunges. So, just saying.
I think maybe if you decide, you might see it. So we do like a cold plunge challenge here at X5. So people that come in, if you do 3 minutes, I give a grand.
I mean, bring it on.
Oh, okay.
Because
with the shaman, I would do 2 minutes, and I feel like that would be my limit. I was
2 minutes is really all you have to do to get the benefits. That's what Wim Hof says. I mean, I didn't do the study or anything, but 2 minutes is really all you need to do. Once you get past 2 minute mark, it actually does get easier, believe it or not.
excited to get out, so I've never done 3 before, but that last minute could be feel like it would be.
I have a video to play you. If it's okay with you, it is from Steve-O, and he just wanted
Okay, that's
to
a
say
nice
few words
way to
you.
put it.
And so I'm gonna play it real quick for you.
Yo, Bam, it's Steve-O, and man,
Okay, first of all, he needs Jesus, he needs Ram, he needs Krishna, he needs something. Because the man is well into his 40s and he's now just starting to get face tattoos. I know some people that might say that should qualify you for a conservatorship. I'm just saying, or a guardianship, either one, both same thing to me. The man shows up in his very nice house, very expensive and nice house, face tattoo. It's not a tattoo he got when he was 20, y'all. The man just got the face tattoo. And he's trying to tell other people how to live their life. Does he need a brain scan? Do we need Dr. Amen to show up on the scene? Hey, Bam. Okay, what's he have to say? What's he have to say?
I feel like I owe you an apology, man.
You do.
I heard you say at a public level that you feel that I pushed sobriety on you.
He did.
And man, it's not supposed to work that way. And gosh dang darn it, you're right. I did. And I should know better than that. But in any case, it's cost us our relationship. Now the only way I can speak with you is through intermediaries like this, but at least I get to speak to you directly in this case. You know, my only excuse is that
No,
I
just
care about
stop.
you.
No excuse. No excuse is the only excuse. Just no, no, no. If Steve-O would have just stopped it right there, I think I wouldn't have had much to say about him other than like, you know, check that chicken on the stove, make sure it ain't on. And the face tattoo, I'm concerned that he might need a brain scan. He might need aura. But, of course, he's got to give his only excuse.
And I wanted to help you. I wanted to see you as happy, as healthy as possible. And, you know, I got it wrong. So, I'm sorry that I pushed sobriety on you like that. And it's not me pushing the cold plunge on you. But I love that it's happening, man. My man Charlie, a dear friend of mine, he's going to give you $1,000.
Leave Charlie's name out your mouth, too, before I write a song about that.
$1,000 if you can last 3 minutes in the cold plunge. It's a big deal, man. Anyway, dude, I love you. I miss you. And
That's a cool cutting board.
yeah, that's all I got.
great. Yeah. I mean, I love Steve-O, you know,
Yeah.
but he's
Bam
right.
is truly a good person.
You know, when I
He
would
is.
go visit him, I know that whatever I'm going to tell him, because he always says, what's your plan? You got to have a plan. If my plan, which almost was this, so what are you going to do today? Well, I'm going to go on a Zoom meeting of AA as I'm driving on my way to a real AA meeting. Then I'm going to stop at
So
church.
Bam then goes into, and look, I wasn't there. I don't know. I do know Bam sometimes gets details wrong. I do know that he gets timelines wrong sometimes, and who wouldn't? Whenever he's just been living in, you know, he was at the time just living in absolute chaos. He had no idea when he was going to get snatched up off the street and brought to the next place or whatever. But he says an illustration of what a conversation with Steve-O would have been like, right? What's your plan, Bam? What's your plan? Gotta have a plan, gotta have a plan. And Bam would be like outlaying his plan. And he's like, I would be on a Zoom AA meeting on the way to a real AA meeting. Then I would go skateboarding. Then I would go to another meeting. Then I would go eat. And then I would go to another meeting. And Steve-O's like, that's not enough.
So what are you going to do today? Well, I'm going to go on a Zoom meeting of AA as I'm driving on my way to a real AA meeting. Then I'm going to stop at church. Then I'm going to go work out. Then I'm going to go skateboard. And then I'm going to go to my home group at night. Ain't good enough. You got to hit up more meat or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Whatever I would say just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, just having to explain a situation.
And of course, that's exhausting, especially whenever you're trying to completely change your lifestyle. Absolutely, some people can wake up one day and say, I'm done with it, and never touch something ever again. And that's not just substances. That could be anything. That could be anything. Most people have to gradually, at least over the period of a few weeks, change their lifestyle. So it's very difficult whenever you do feel like you're doing all that you can do plus some, and it's just not enough for people. It certainly does make you feel like you might as well not try. Because if I'm doing all of this and it's still not enough for people like the likes of Steve-O, what I just don't want to talk to Steve-O, because it's not encouraging. It's not helpful. All Steve-O's doing is, you gotta have a plan, gotta do more. Listen what Bam says.
Then I'm gonna go work out, then I'm gonna go skateboard, and then I'm gonna go to my home group at night. Ain't good enough. You got to hit up more meat or whatever it may be. Yeah. Whatever I would say just wasn't cutting it. Yeah. You know, and just having to explain a situation
Like, heard your new friend in town's not so good for you. He let you buy alcohol down at the store. It's like, no, I actually said pull over at the convenience store so I could get cigarettes, and I secretly bought a bottle of alcohol and put it in my pocket that he didn't know about. But I don't need to even explain myself to you, and I don't want you hating a guy that doesn't deserve it, that he didn't know about it. But
that's another thing too. Like, I know that a lot of y'all have had success with AA and, NA and stuff like that. And truly, 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 I hope more people have success with it. I hope there's a lot of success. I also have seen sometimes AA and any group type community can turn into a little bit of an isolationist, culty environment where it's like you can't talk to anybody outside of it. If somebody's not going to meetings, they're the devil. If someone's not going to meetings, they're trying to kill my fucking brother. And it's like Steve-O's saying, well, you can't hang out with this guy because he's bad for you. And Bam was saying, I don't owe you an explanation. He's right. He never owed Steve-O an explanation. And now he has withdrawn his energy and his presence from Steve-O. And Steve-O's out here groveling. I'm sorry, man. I just only loved you and cared about you by trying to tell you you can't have other friends and tell you what to do and tell you that what you're doing isn't good enough. It's like, what do you really expect? It's very common sense and it's very, very obvious. I didn't even know Bam when I was saying the stuff I was saying. You gotta let him make his own decisions. You gotta let him learn for himself. You cannot push it on him. You cannot force somebody to be sober. I was saying all that stuff before I ever even knew Bam. It's obvious. Now, some people, I guess, can be forced to be sober. If what Steve-O says is true, he got 51-50 one time back in 2008 or 7 or whatever, and never touched it again. I mean, he says that. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I haven't given him any drug tests or whatever, but let's say it's true. I guess it's true. Some people can be forced. But every single day that he wakes up and makes a decision, Steve-O, not to do a substance, is he being forced or is it his own choice? He has somebody over his shoulder every single day saying, don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. Probably not. He probably has to at some point pick up that torch and make his own decision. It's obvious. This is not revolutionary knowledge. It's obvious human behavior. All you got to do is be a human one time. I was right. I got accused of attempted homicide publicly by a man with millions and millions and millions of fans and subscribers. To this day, you can't even say nothing nice about me on Reddit, Jed Wallace looking at you. I don't know if that's who did it, but Jed Wallace sure was the sober guardian, not guardian, let me not say guardian, sober liaison person Bam had to take his pills on the phone with and all of that. It's very obvious. You cannot force somebody to do something. Nothing. You can't force somebody to lifelong make a change. You just can't. It sucks out, sometimes you wish you could because it'd be better for somebody. Here I am out here saying that. Now Steve-O is admitting.
You feel that I pushed sobriety on you, and man, it's not supposed to work that way, and gosh dang darn it, you're right. I did. And I should know better than that. And, I got it wrong. So, I'm sorry that I pushed sobriety on you like that.
Yep, that, same point, that. Apologizing to Bam because he wants something from Bam. In my opinion, that's why he's apologizing. Because he wants something from Bam. He wants to be back in Bam's good graces. He wants to be back in the Bam circle. And who wouldn't? Bam is awesome. Bam is fun. Bam is a great person to be around. He's funny, he's charismatic, people like him. But I noticed Steve-O said the same stuff about me, accused me of trying to kill his effing brother and every other thing else. I never got an apology.
But you hear from this guy to that guy that he bought me out. No, that's not the case, and I don't even feel like I need to spend the time to explain myself.
You don't.
Yeah. So
you
it
don't.
just became overwhelming, and
you know, right now I pretty much just want to take a break from everybody,
disconnect,
and just completely focus on eating right, going to the gym with him. I have no problems at all with Steve-O. In fact, he's the only one that stuck up for me for Jackass. Everybody was like, oh, he's not in it? Well, let's just film it anyway. You motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, Steve-O's like, nah, we can't do this without him. But I guess when everybody, all Steve-O against the world, you know, so yeah. And you know, you couldn't, if everyone's like, would you ever do a Jackass fight? The answer is going to be the same answer for the past 10.
Bam's like, can we change the subject? We're talking about Jackass 5 now. No, I'm never doing it. Ew. No. You couldn't convince me, not in 20 million years. I ain't doing it. The magic is lost. So he kind of moves on from the Steve-O subject. Now, I do have another video. It probably already came out about what follows this in the podcast, where Bam actually talks about the curious case of Bam Margera, which he's like, it should have been called the curious case of Lima, because I don't even know what that thing was about. That video is probably already out. Y'all can go check that out. But yeah, I'm just wondering, where's my apology? Where is my apology from Steve-O, the failed clown? Because he was out here calling me everything but a child of God, a crazy lady, literally lied about me to Bam. He gonna apologize to Bam for that? This lawyer, this crazy loony lady in the free Bam movement.
Because anybody who's talking about free Bam, let him out, get him out of treatment, like, you're trying to kill my brother, you know.
Come to find out, the free Bam movement, started and led by me, was exactly right. What did the free Bam movement say? What were the tenets? What was the purpose? What was the message? Bam Margera has to make his own choice to be sober. No one can force him to do so.
You feel that I pushed sobriety on you, and man, it's not supposed to work that way, and gosh dang darn it, you're right, I did. And I should know better than that.
Now Bam Margera has come out and said, yeah, I was being held against my will. It didn't help me at all. I was on all kinds of medications and drugs that had me groggy, gaining weight, unable to do the only thing that really makes me happy, which is skateboard. Now he seems to be doing just fine. It's pretty undeniable the free Bam movement not only was obvious, resounding success, but also was right. Now, the last thing that I feel like needs to happen for some closure on this thing right here, Steve-O should apologize to me for lying on my name several times. He should apologize to the free Bam movement for misrepresenting what we were doing, which is trying to kill my brother.
You're trying to kill my brother, you know.
No one's trying to kill anybody, buddy. And probably Krusty Lynn also needs to apologize to me. But he won't do that because now I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm assuming Bam's really not talking too much to him either. And I don't blame him. If I'm Bam, I'm not talking back to him no more either. I'm not talking to these people anymore. And I'm proud of Bam for standing his ground. I think he was very diplomatic and mature and dignified on this podcast. He said, I love Steve-O. Frankly, I don't have anything against Steve-O, but it became overwhelming that nothing I was doing was good enough for him, and he was trying to control me. He said I don't owe him an explanation. And you don't. If you're watching this and you have someone in your life trying to make you feel like you have to explain everything to them all the time, think about to yourself whether or not you really have to explain yourself to them. Think about whether you want to make a decision based on what you want or not. Bam has done so, and all it really took was for him to be given the freedom to do so. Almost like exactly like I said. That's all I really had for right now. If Steve-O apologizes, I'll definitely be reposting it, but I doubt he will. Who knows? Never say never. Yeah, that's all I really have for right now. In the meantime, one more thing. Welcome into my world. You're playing mic game. Thought that you could come up in the fitting of a mic name, talking out the side of your neck like you're insane. Cortisol levels to the roof, inflamed. Kids these days so shameless, selling out real friends for a paycheck. Mama didn't teach them no home training. Wanna be me so bad, but you're failing. Step to the plate though, I'll take a challenger. I ain't scared of no low-life scavenger. It won't be long till you share it in the Reddit. When I call you up, you're gonna backtrack. Ask Steve-O how it all turned out. How it all turned out, indeed. Man, I shouldn't have done it. I messed up. I'm sorry, man. My only excuse. Love you, Mina K. Bye.